Oh, John and Elizabeth Barrett from the
Good
Bervie.
afternoon.
How long are you in the Bervie?
Well, I was born in room number 11 in 1952, so you can add up the years. I'm 61 now, so.
And John?
I came here, we got married in 86, so after my apprenticeship of 4 years, we got married and been here since. But Liz's family have been here since 1928.
And what was this building beforehand?
It was a Coast Guard station, originally back in 1820s. Was it?
1820
Yeah.
to about 1850.
And when was it vacated? Do you know?
Well, it was taken over quite quickly by a Scottish man called Alex Hector, who had been inveigled to come over and set up a salmon fishing industry, a kind of relief work, if you like. And
By Reverend Knight.
Reverend Nangle was the main one who organised that and organised, I think, the leases for him for the fishing. And they were here until 1928, the Hector family.
And where are the fishing? Where was it? In the rivers and the sea?
The sea just out here, Keel Bay,
Port.
Cremega, Portnalonga, and Kim Bay, and at Arroch on the north of the island.
And was it fish farming or was it just fishing?
It was
Oh.
wild fish.
Wild fish.
There was-
Yeah, and it wasn't just the salmon, it was later on it developed into white fishing,
Fishing, but not farming.
not farming.
farming.
No, there was no such
Because
thing
farming
as
is
farming.
farming is new, isn't it?
It is
Pretty
a
new.
new concept. Yeah.
Okay, right. And when did it become accommodation?
Well, my granddad and uncle, who were John and Eliza Barrett as well, they had the Amethyst Hotel, and they had built it up into a fine establishment. And Eliza decided then it was time to retire, so that's why they bought down here as a retirement home. But she had no sooner sold out, but she was sorry, and she made a contract with Miss Thea Boyd, who bought the Amethyst from her. Not that she wouldn't keep guests for 5 years. But she, at the time, she hadn't a notion of keeping guests, but she did break her contract. She was keeping guests within 5 years here at the Bervie. And it was just a small little cottage, but she started adding bits on, and they were here. They both died suddenly in the early 50s. And then my mother and father took over then, and they raised 10 of us here. The other 9 ran off, and I'm a slow learner. I'm still here.
And why do they call it the Bervie?
Bervie was called after the small town in the east of Scotland, south of Aberdeen, where Alex Hector came from, the man who set up the fishing industry.
And your mother kind of got it going then as a hotel?
Yes, they did. They kept going till John and I took over then.
And what kind of an approach did you take towards it?
Well, we wanted to keep on the tradition, that it was famous for good food and hospitality. But of course, there's big changes. You had to go the year of the ensuite and the year of, times changed a lot. So we had to rewire, redo everything. But
This occurs on an occasion that you have to change. You have to make changes every so often.
you have to. Of course, you have to move along. But you always hold on to what we were famous for, hospitality and, good principles of catering. And
You have a very loyal clientele, I believe.
went to very loyal.
Annual returns?
Returns, yeah, and it's like if any of our guests die, it's like a death in the family. We've got so fond of them coming all over the years.
And who does what in this?
Big question.
Everybody does everything.
Everything.
Yeah. We recently, in
Jack
the
of all
last
trades.
5 years, with James O'Connor joined us as a chef, and that has been a great help. And just because I was trying to be superwoman, and then I realised I couldn't do all the cooking and do the entertaining, everything. So James joined us, and that
Now
made
she
a
just
big
does the
difference.
entertaining.
Well, she's good at that, actually. And what do you do, John? What's your...
Oh, my first job in the morning is breakfast.
Good.
And after that,
Book Bookkeeping.
Bookkeeping, yes, which is not very successful at, but I give a stab at it anyway. And maintenance
And answering mails.
answering mails.
You have a kind of a specialist menu here, I think, have you? Different. We come here because it's different.
Yeah, well, we do incorporate, we do a lot of fish and local produce, but we just give things a twist, I suppose, and just make it interesting.
Home cooking with a bit of a twist, if you like.
You don't stay open for winter.
No, because you're visiting now in winter, and we get it because of our location. We get a huge bashing, especially this year. So it would be impossible to keep the house warm and cosy because of where it's located. And we like to recharge as well ourselves, and then open with enthusiasm in the springtime again.
Well, looking at the storm outside it's really dramatic.
It is.
Anybody would want to see that.
Yeah, there's a market there for come and watch the storm, but it's you never know what damage it may do, and you have to. It's good to take a break anyway from it and do repairs to the house and do little. Maybe there's always some little project on.
It's full on once we open to the day we close. So
Yeah.
You're very close to the sea here, about 50 metres.
about that.
Does it ever come in?
Yes. Yes. We didn't see the last two storms that came on the 3rd and on the 6th of January, which I'm glad of, because I think if I had seen them, I'd have gone back home to where I come from, Castlebar, and never set foot in the place again. But it's the nature of the place that we live in, and there's nothing we can do about it.
But they were exceptionally.
They were, but the folklore around here says that you get a storm like that once every 50 years, but the last one was 23 years after the 91 storm, and the one before that was 1953. So they're getting more frequent, but we just have to try and protect ourselves from that.
Achill Island is a popular tourist destination.
It is for families.
Families.
It's not over-commercialised. So families are coming back in a big way because they feel they can let their kids out the door in the morning and they don't worry about them. And there isn't an awful lot that the kids can spend money on as far as gaming arcades or anything like that. And kids who come here usually come back as teenagers and then as adults and then with their own families as well. So it's a wide circle